Recording. All right, everybody, welcome. It's kind of a small group tonight. This is good. We're here to digest some information. So our consultants aren't here tonight, and just by happenstance, neither Ann Callahan or Mike Labby could be here tonight. So it's just committee folks, just kind of processing what we got from our last meeting. Minutes from April 27th. Would someone like to make a motion regarding our minutes?
I will.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Mary Beth has made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Sure. Oh, sorry, Matt. Okay. Any discussion regarding the minutes from April 27th? Thank you for doing all those links in there. There's a lot of stuff to dig into. So thank you for being attentive to all that detail and yeah,
No problem.
including all that stuff. Any other thoughts regarding the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes from April 27th? I think that's unanimous. Thank you, folks. Okay, we have a bunch of little announcements. I'm gonna do a couple quickly. I'm gonna apologize. I meant to send out to you guys an announcement about the Build Maine conference, which is June 2nd and 3rd, I believe. I will send it out after this evening. I'm just mentioning this now to sort of put a little, so you have some context, I guess, when you actually see it. It's June 2nd and 3rd in Skowhegan. It is a lot of stuff related to building towns and all the things that go into town building. So like pedestrian or transportation stuff, housing stuff. I don't even know what else is on the agenda. But I haven't been, but I'm actually hoping to go, but I'm going to send it out after this evening. So if you are interested, please let me know. Jeff said we have a seat or two.
There's a couple of seats, yeah. We might have one more.
Okay.
The Tuesday and Wednesday?
So it's in the middle of the week in Skowhegan. Yeah.
Oh.
Nice opportunity to just step away from your normal routines and obligations for a few days. So I'm just mentioning that. When was that, Sarah? Last week on Tuesday? Last week on Thursday? Tuesday last week, Sarah and I met with Matt Hunter, who is our new director of public works. We already knew Mac a little bit because our kids all go to school together. So that was nice. Just like a get to know you meeting. He was like open to hearing our ideas and talking to us. And he didn't just say, "Oh, you guys are crazy." So that was good.
They're also Dana for that too, Brian. I ran into Dana and mentioned that we met with him. He's, oh man, because they live on Forsyth. It's great.
I told him I would let him know about our next meeting, which I'm thinking is going to be to talk about some of these quick build things with the consultants. I thought you might want to hear about that and maybe chime in. So
I think is that there's also a deputy that's been hired.
Yes,
Josh.
Yeah, Josh Dennis.
Josh Dennison. Okay, we did not meet Josh. Yes.
What kind of deputy?
Public Works.
Does that mean you didn't know they had a deputy? Yeah, what does that mean?
I think that was a new.
Like assistant director.
All right.
Same thing, different titles. I don't know how they come up.
Why aren't you here? Deputy.
No, there's assistants and then there's deputies, and I'm not really sure the difference. I don't think there is.
Deputy town manager.
At least in municipal.
All right.
All right.
Makes sense.
Sarah, I'm putting you on the spot. Anything we need to know about the bike rodeo? Okay, bike rodeo is this weekend, right? It's coming weekend.
Is it really?
On Saturday, yeah.
So Saturday.
6. It's like so much better.
I know this week feels a little crazy. It's like
This year is a little crazy. So
yeah.
This
These few weeks are just like, oh, I got all kinds of stuff going on. Jeff, you want to tell us about Tedford Road? Or Catherine's Road.
Okay,
Sorry,
no,
Tedford Road's
really?
next one. Chief, you're up next.
Not really. Yeah, so just an update on Head Park. Mark Waltz was in talks with DOT. DOT is going to be redoing the bridge on right there by Head Park. He asked about the possibility of putting a sidewalk in And they had not planned on doing that apparently, by the sounds of it. He had the meeting just took place today, a good meeting with them, and what they recommended. Because typically it wouldn't be something they would do, but they said with a lot of public support, it could change the direction of things. So, basically what they're asking for is if we have committees like the Bike Ped Committee in place that could write a compelling argument on why there should be one including the project, it could carry one.
Okay.
So Mark was hopefully asking for, and it wouldn't have to be anything tomorrow, but within the next, maybe a month or two. A letter from the Bike Ped Committee in support of, and if it could be detailed enough, explaining situations like you did. That's why I said earlier when you told me about your husband's, things like that. His experience and experience anybody's had. I don't think we're going to find a lot of solid data. I think it's probably going to be a lot of.
We've got black box data.
Yeah, I think I think this would be. I think we can include anecdotal data to a degree, as far as how dangerous we think it is and experiences people have had and what it looks like and why it should be there. And if that comes from this body, it might help. So that's the town manager's ask for this group, if people willing to.
Happily draft a letter, which I can bring back to you guys for your seal of approval. Is that Parks and Rec manages that facility?
Yes.
Okay. What role does the Conservation Commission have, if any? Do they have a spot like that?
I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know.
Never. I don't know.
I'm assuming, there has to be some connection, right, with conservation.
Yeah, I assume.
I don't.
I'm just thinking of constituencies. We can mobilize Bike Ped folks, we can Parks and Rec folks.
Yeah, I think Mark's probably thinking about that as well. He was pretty energized when we got off the phone, so.
In a good way?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not like, we need support behind it. But I think if you could find an argument out there that deserves it, I think it's this for example. This is kind of I think it's kind of a bad situation, but and it's interesting too because it's not sidewalk. It's not a sidewalk that's going to connect to additional sidewalks. It's just simply a sidewalk on a bridge.
But it's almost like an attractive nuisance because you've got this beautiful park there, and because of where the parking is, you're forcing them really to walk across that, which just seems ill-advised.
Would the sidewalk make the bridge wider? Would it change anything about like the width of the bridge, or is it truly just like paying for like the sidewalk to be laid down?
It would make the bridge wider too.
I think it would have to make the bridge wider.
Okay.
Typically, you're gonna do, I have to look at
Bridge engineer.
I have to look at all the data on that, but
Yeah.
you're probably talking at least 11 and 1 on each side.
Yeah.
Or 11, did I say 11 and 1, 11 and 2? Yeah, you're probably talking
Yeah.
like a 24 to 26 foot minimum width, and
Yeah.
then probably another 5 feet for sidewalk plus barriers. The thing I would look at here is what is the actual additional cost? And I can look at that, and if it's not that much, like Forsyth Road, Muddy River, that would be a very large cost because you have a narrow, low-lying approach on the south end that goes on for like a half mile. So to actually put a sidewalk there that actually connects to anything, the town would have to raise the road, fill, it would be a big project. The way I look at this one, I don't think you have to do that. I think you've got a situation where you extend your wing wall and put a sidewalk in. I'm not saying it's not any cost, but you're probably talking tens to hundreds of thousands as opposed to like not millions, would be my perspective, my opinion. So I would think I could look at making the argument that if there's a public desire to have it, and it's really not going to cost that much more, right? Because that's the other thing. DOT needs to be careful with the money they have. They have a lot of bridges, so they're gonna come from that perspective of who are we serving, what's the need, and what's it gonna cost? And if we can say there's a big need to a relatively low cost site, that's a good argument, I think, for them to consider. So,
And it would need to have like a big, it wouldn't just be like an open sidewalk on one side, like what's going on Tedford Road, it would need like a barrier.
you wouldn't need a barrier.
You wouldn't need a barrier.
No, you would, I don't, well, what's the speed limit? It is, I guess,
50?
is it?
50?
Well, through there, I think it's
It
30.
goes down.
Yeah, it must,
Yeah, the advisory signs.
and that's true, you've got a curve there that
Yeah.
can't be designed for, yeah, so I would think you would just have it's a 7-inch reveal, typical with a sidewalk.
Mhm.
No like interior connection area.
Okay.
Would be
Yeah.
pretty
Cause if there's a lot of pushback there, you could, I mean, even from last session, like learning about traffic calming, like
Mhm.
there are other things you could put there that would get cars' attention to the fact that there might be people traversing across, there would need to be the room there for people to go. But if there's a lot of pushback about putting in like a true sidewalk,
Yeah.
connecting two sides,
Mhm.
you put like those reflective, I don't know, plunger looking things, I don't know, something that like. There would be other options that would make it feel safer to a pedestrian if there was space, if they didn't wanna
Well, that's
put the
it.
true sidewalk in.
An interesting point, because you could actually almost make it that you have a sidewalk, but maybe it could serve as like a separated bike shoulder kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it could be like the
Right.
lower thing.
Not saying that we want to go this route, but it's something to think about, yeah.
I was gonna say, Brian, that, if you wanna take a stab at drafting the letter, then, send it out to the group, we could, Matt, right? So add some details and some, we could rally some neighbors too to sign on to this. I mean, we've got, I live close by, all the neighbors that, live on either side of there. Ian Callahan is on one side of the bridge and Ryan Holmes is on the other side, right? 2 select board members who live on Cat Hills Road. That as well, so. So it looks like we're gonna open it up into more than just the bike ped committee to be voicing support.
Yeah, and I think if you were to send an email letter back and forth with, comments made, I think, you'll be okay. Be careful not to, be careful
Well,
to
just
stay
say-
away from like discussions in
Right.
the email, or just a letter that. To review drafts.
Yeah, folks, we can post a draft letter, people can comment on it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Easy draft. Hey Chief, I thought we had data from Cat Answer, but I'm not seeing it.
We do not around the bridge, but we do have, we've done it 2 or 3 times.
I thought so, it's not in the folder, that's probably just my bad. But I thought it
Yeah, I'm
was-
pretty sure I've sent
I
it, but
thought so.
I can check
too.
again tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, good, thank you for that, that's exciting, potential improvement. All right, I think our last update, Chief, you wanna tell us about what's going on Tedford Road?
Yeah, so a couple weeks back, the engineer met with everybody from the town, well, at least the town manager was out there. Water district was out there, Public Works was out there, just to talk about his initial drawings and so forth. So what he was talking about.
The engineer. The engineer's
Yeah.
initial drawing?
Yeah, what Tedford Road's complicated because it's only the right of way for the town is only 33 feet out there. Total, and it's usually 50 feet for the road and right of way, so it shows the age of the road. He was talking about that road. Going back to like 1880s and so forth, so obviously they weren't planning ahead for now at that time. So they have a limited space to work with. So what they have designed is 2 10-foot lanes with 1-foot fog lanes. And then you're also gonna have the 5-foot sidewalk. If you're headed out away from Middlesex Road, there's gonna be a 5-foot sidewalk on the left side. And the remainder of the right of way is gonna be used for sloping grade. And avoiding trying to take down some trees, so some of the neighbors have voiced opinions on. So they don't have much room to work with there. They're gonna have a vertical curb so that cars are less likely to climb the sidewalk. And a lot of the talk was for the people from the water district, because the road's very flat, and the public works. The road's very flat out there, so once you put a sidewalk in, causes drainage issues, so this project has turned into quite a big project. Wright Pierce estimated it a few years back at $2 to $3 million. So the numbers will continue to climb.
Is it more than that?
They don't know. Part of what this engineering company has been tasked with is developing a new estimate, and he hasn't done that yet.
So what is how did this become the chosen approach for Tedford? Like, who decided that a sidewalk was the right decision for that road?
So this has been going on, engineers, they've been meetings for quite a while, since I think this was an active, before I get there 2 years ago.
But I think that it's interesting, like, I don't remember if it was, Matt who brought it up, like, so Winter Street has like it's narrow, it has a sidewalk on one side, and it's not bikeable, it's not safe to bike on.
Wait,
People
which
don't-
road?
Winter?
Oh, and there's just this, it feels like this is gonna turn Tedford into an unbikeable road, which is an interesting decision, considering the Merry Meeting Trail potentially coming into the picture too. And, just the access potentially on Audubon Way over to the high school and the middle school, when that becomes,
I know the town has had one meeting with the people on Tedford Road,
okay,
and their concerns were about having a sidewalk. And then with the Brunswick Topsham Housing Authority having that
right,
new
right.
development down
right.
there was concern, and so,
So the sidewalk to get to Rusty's.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
So, which is, I think, one of the reasons it's on that side
Okay,
of the road, so it's on the Rusty side, so kids don't have to cross or anything, so. But as far as when it happened, I know they've been talking about it for 3 or more years,
Okay.
so.
I mean, just as far as like, our, charge is to, advise on projects and stuff. Obviously, if this was happening way before this
Yeah.
existed, that doesn't really do much, but it's like a concern. Just like if it feels like that's just not the right solution for that road, it would get less friendly to the people who are trying to use active transportation.
Right. I think the neighbor's concern, if I heard it correctly, one from the first town meeting, was the sidewalk. So,
Like wanting it?
so there'll be another meeting later this fall, I think, where the town will roll out the plan to the neighborhood. And, I think anybody will be invited, but
Okay,
I have a feeling the considerable weight will be put to what the neighbors on
okay,
the people on that road would be interested in.
cool. And yeah, we talked to Mac about the whole, what's called with the other method of sort of addressing bike paths.
Edge lane.
The edge lanes, we talked to him about that, and he was just gung ho about the idea of not having to deal with sidewalk maintenance on that road, because you could just plow edge lanes. It would be not $3 million to put in edge lanes and try it before executing a $3 million project, which is something to like think. It's just,
Question about edge lanes. So, Green Street, isn't it Green Street?
Yeah.
Is that technically an edge lane?
it's.
Cause it has it on one side and
so
I'm
it's
always,
not-
I'm always confused on what side I should go on. Like, if I'm running, I face traffic. So like, but that's the side that has the area on the, like, if you're going up the hill, it
Yeah,
has
I
the,
walk the incorrect side when I'm going
Okay.
up Green Street,
okay,
because it's the sidewalk. It's
Okay.
What's been designated.
yeah,
If there was one on the other side,
But,
too,
yeah.
I would walk on the other side.
okay, but generally speaking, edge lane roads have them on both sides.
Yes.
So I had this up actually. See
Yeah,
here.
Green Street's.
I'm just like, I don't know where it's supposed to go.
It's
I don't,
on.
I don't know what
Yeah.
side I'm supposed to be
Well,
on
the
when
picture
I'm.
that Ryan had,
Yeah.
like the woman's walking on the incorrect side of the street, which is not safe.
Right.
Still have to like face traffic.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna like run up this hill while cars are going behind me.
Right.
I will, no.
My screen just got very blurry.
Huh.
Okay,
Oh, yes, okay,
There we go.
that's beautiful, where is
yeah,
that?
this is like in Europe,
Oh, docking.
but. It is a little bit ironic, like how there is a resemblance to Tedford Road here, the same color paint and all that stuff. I don't know where the Tedford Road treatment actually came from. But typically it's both sides of the road.
Got it. Are you talking about Green Street?
I'm sorry, what did I just say?
You said Tedford.
Tedford, I'm green.
Okay, got it, yeah.
To come back to Tedford though, I think it was 2 years ago when Mark Waltz came to talk to us about it the first time.
Right.
My recollection is that it was $250,000 at that point.
That's what the town had set aside, not realizing the issues with drainage and various other issues. So when all that started coming out, it's one of those projects, yeah.
Yeah. So we're like somewhere up around 10 times the cost now. When you go from 250,000 to 2.5 million, that's like 10 times as expensive. We're doing all these like try it out, see if it works type things. It seems like we should try something else and see if we can do another solution out there and save a dramatic amount of money.
My suspicion is if that was possible, they would have considered that money. I think it'd be helpful to have Mark come in and talk to our group, or at least somebody that's been on this project from the very beginning.
Yeah. Send it
Because
over.
I do think it started out with one vision and then get complicated as time went on and more expensive. This town isn't excited about spending $3 million.
I can imagine not. My wife almost blew a gasket when I told her.
So the fact that that's what is being looked at now by engineers and townspeople. There has to be a decent reason for that we should probably hear it out.
Yeah. because-
No, I'm all ears, but it just is like, that's like, when was the last time the town did a similar investment anywhere?
I don't know,
Like
I
on
do a lot of road work, I don't know what the costs are, because usually it's not a police district, so.
Yeah, I know there was quite a bit of money spent on the Tedford Road, on the far end, just on that culvert.
yes.
So, and things are not getting any cheaper either. Things just in 4 years, you've probably found what the increase was in just 4 years.
Probably upwards of 30%.
It will get worse.
So,
Well, if you pay any attention to social media or Truth Social or whatever it's called, then it could be, who knows what it could be in the future. But anyway, no, I guess what I'm, yeah, and I think it would be helpful because I know I don't have the perspective. Is if there's, I guess a previous or ongoing safety issue to, like there was a lot of crashes, pedestrian struck or something going on. Future development of the area maybe, or like, so what, I guess what originally brought in the sidewalk? And I mean, obviously concerned
Neighbors.
I'm not saying concerned neighbors is not an important thing. But I guess what started the conversation and then
yeah, I don't know, the sidewalk's always been part of it since I've been here.
Well, isn't it related to like future development out there?
Well, like, yeah, usually with the development that we just put in, when you start talking about increased pedestrian traffic, especially kids, planning is always looking at sidewalk potentials. The building over here that they're doing, there was a big, it's been big discussions in sidewalk potentials. So am I hearing from this group, just so I can take back the right information, am I hearing that you don't agree with sidewalks?
I think what you're
In
hearing
that
is,
circumstance, it doesn't seem to be the best choice, in my opinion. I don't know. I would be interested just to know. I think it's gonna make it a less useful route for a lot of people, especially people on bicycles. And.
Yeah,
you know,
the
kids getting to the schools over in the, when Audubon Way is, more of a thoroughfare to get to the schools. I think that a sidewalk there is gonna hinder bicycle use, which is.
Yeah, it would prioritize the people who can use the sidewalk, which primarily will be people on foot or
And
little kids on
And
bike.
it's not, nobody's going, like the walking doesn't, I mean, nobody's walking to rescues. Or I mean.
I mean, I
think
imagine some
There
people are
actually
like-
is quite a few from that, there's a trailer park halfway up the road on the left that gets quite a bit.
Yeah,
And the new housing project is, say, lower income, but
yeah.
there's a lot of people walking there, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I walk Tedford, cause I have a friend who lives right there on.
Yeah.
Off Martin. We rarely see other people.
It's not safe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think my perspective is just, I don't wanna say justifying cost, but yeah, what is, I guess what's the long term? Is there more development? Maybe part of a connection over to Highland Green, or is there thought that people will be walking, biking, driving through there? What's the 5, 10, 20-year plan of the area that maybe further justifies a sidewalk over not us having a sidewalk, if there is one, and any like data on a safety issue that we're solving? I guess that would be. I don't know if this is something that would go to the town for a vote on a town meeting budget in the future, but I just figured some people might be like, look at the numbers and the price tag and say, what is this for? Which, not to say that with good reason we couldn't support it, but I think that would be my question.
Right.
I guess I'm just interested in rationale, like, at what information did you have when some of these choices were made? And is there new information now that might suggest that it's, because I don't know if a sidewalk's the best thing or not, because I don't know what information so I think it's like, for me, I just need a historical accounting of how did we get here and what did we know and what do we know now that we didn't know then that might.
Maybe, it's been said already, but that there could be lower cost alternatives that balance bike and pedestrian needs. With Edge Lane, I just saw some really cool, really useful urban trails in Austin, Texas, which basically look like edge lanes, but with, now I can't remember what kind of things like we were seeing last time, but just little curb pavers and the things sticking up and, that created some, I mean, it's basically usable for bikes and pedestrians on both sides of the road, so I was looking at edge lanes and I was thinking, you can make that even a little safer. Just might be good to consider some alternatives that could be lower cost.
They're
but
all
also
over
just
Germany
bikes.
that way, that
Yeah.
kind of thing, and of course Germans love to walk and ride their bikes anyway, but they're just kind of built in. And everybody seems to be safe. I didn't see lots of accidents happening all the time.
Now, there's a lot of road work too, and I wish I knew more about this project, so I apologize. I'll give you the information, but it's my understanding there's a lot of road work too, really extensive road work that's being done.
Yeah, drainage issues.
Yeah, so, I mean, at the end of the day, it may not be the sidewalk.
Yeah,
that's
it may be the
costing
drainage that's,
So,
yeah,
Right.
but I don't think it's so much about cost as, like. What problem are they solving for, and is some of this other stuff just, decisions that don't look very consequential. That were maybe made a couple years ago, but now we have more information and there might be an opportunity to reduce cost and get a better result.
I don't remember if anyone brought up Shepherd Road in the survey that we did with our.
Oh, yeah.
I looked,
think it-
actually, there was one comment,
Okay.
and it said, I'm paraphrasing, it basically said, this road is in poor condition and it's bad for everybody. It was basically the comment,
Well, I think
but there was only one,
Okay.
like there were lots of other places that were.
Right.
Tagged a lot.
Yeah.
I think
But
that-
Jeff, is the ultimate decision going to be brought to a budget and approved by the town?
Well, No, I believe the ultimate decision's been made.
Yeah, I think it's already in this
It's
budget.
it's actually been in the last two budgets, spending money on.
At that high a number? At $3 million?
Well, they don't know what the number is yet. That's
Right.
part of what they're paying this engineer firm to do right now is come up with a
And if you
better
look,
number.
if you look in the town warrant on capital, capital improvements, it's listed out. There's a pool of money, and it's listed out what which items it can be spent for. So there's like 3 or 4, there was, Tedford Road.
Done.
Last year was the culvert.
The transfer station.
The
Transfer
the
station.
transfer station, planning.
Mm.
And so there's this pocket of money there and it's allowed to be spent on bids. If Tedford Road comes back this expensive, it's not gonna get done this year.
Yeah.
It'll continue to be, that money will sit there and then it will be added to next year when they have the.
I wonder. I don't know if that's the right place to do it, but if some of these demonstration projects. I think with the consultants, we talked about something at Rusty's, like I think there's a very wide, like narrow in that.
Yeah.
And. Something, at least at the beginning, like. Put the those plunger.
Yeah, the plunger
Can't think of the
thing,
term.
they just look like plungers.
Yeah, but put a.
The bollards.
They're like,
rolling the
yeah.
flexible bollards.
Yeah.
Flexipost.
Yeah.
Like the
You,
post.
The flex post, yeah, you put in like,
Plunger.
I don't know, a couple 100 feet of those, 200-300 feet of those along and said.
Right.
It's a sidewalk for now and just kind of see like, do people use it, does it slow traffic down, how does that feel? And
Those plows can't get over those, so they can't get forward.
yeah, no, it would have to
That
be.
wouldn't have to be in the winter.
I think it's seasonal. Yeah, it would have to be something that,
Yeah, that's the nice thing about them, is
Right.
yeah.
I think they stick them down with some tar or whatever, just pull up, yeah, so I think it would, be something you put up in like April, May and take down in November.
So whatever.
Try it out.
And I'm not sure, I know the road width is an issue. I'm not sure how much, they're able to widen if I think they are widening some for the sidewalks. The problem with your temporary projects before the work gets done is you'd be putting the plungers, in.
Right there, okay.
Right around the whole thing.
Yeah.
You would have to wait for it to really tell what the purpose is.
Yeah, you'd have to be telling people that their sidewalk is the grass shoulder or the.
Right.
Yeah, you have to make the road.
Go walk
wider.
over there.
Go try it, see how you like it.
Just to wrap this conversation up, Chief, are we waiting for additional information from the engineer then about costs and
That's,
stuff?
yeah, that's what they're still working on. They were doing a walk with the water district and Public Works, trying to get some last numbers, confirmation on everything. Couple weeks ago, so that he can finish his work.
Maybe we could get Mark to come and talk to us about.
Yes, because it's a multi-department program too, and the water district's taking advantage of some of it, and doing some work, so. Between the water district, between the drainage, the construction, repairs of the road itself, because it is an old road, and I think they're box cutting a bit of it. So. Yeah, just so we're clear, I don't know, as far as when we're talking about money, I don't know how much money the sidewalk would be responsible. So.
I mean, it also just to throw it out there, might come up, this is a bike ped committee, so is the bike ped committee saying this road should be focused on bikes and not pedestrians, because that's gonna be asked.
I mean, I have been, just to say my piece, I've been playing Mark well, like, Mark, we should really look at Edgeland, we should really look at Edgeland, we should really look at Edgeland on this road. I did talk to the consultants about it, am I nuts, or is this like a possibility? So that seems like a total possibility. You could do it for dramatically less money, and if it didn't work. Like nothing ventured, nothing lost here.
Painting the pavement.
What's that?
I said, all you pay for is painting the pavement essentially, and like.
Yeah,
You have to
and
contribute
most places, this
roads
is a very, the picture I
Yes.
just showed you is a very picturesque picture.
Yeah.
But Mary Beth could talk to us more about like Eastern Road in Scarborough. I went down and rode it a couple weeks ago with my wife. They've done that treatment on Eastern Road, which connects to the Eastern Trail, which is comparable to what the Mary Meeting Trail would be. People really like it. And it's bike friendly, it's ped friendly, and it seems great. I mean, it seems like if you can do something that I worry we're gonna put in a sidewalk and then we're gonna be mitigating for bicyclists when the Mary Meeting Trail comes, and we will have done something very expensive that we don't like.
I worry if we don't put a sidewalk in, those residents want it, and they'll get put in later.
Say that again.
That you're gonna put one in later,
Mm.
which is gonna be even more.
More expensive.
I have found like generally with bike ped stuff, people don't have a good sense of options. Like they just don't know what the options are. So people will say, I want a one-way street to slow traffic down.
Yeah,
And they don't know what. the
What I
options are.
recall though was at the meeting, what I recall was that the neighborhood was pretty clear that they were concerned with the speed. Like, I think that was the meeting that was.
Oh, yeah.
They were very
Contentious.
concerned with the speed.
Yeah.
And sidewalks were, I get, the preferred method to take care of that. And to create.
And an edge lane, an edge lane road isn't going to stop speeders if they're just bound and determined to drive poorly. I mean,
I think pedestrian safety was what they had.
Right, which is why the engineer has a flat face curve, because he doesn't want vehicles climbing it. People are safer with a flat face curve.
When is the next there's another meeting with
Hasn't
like
been determined.
neighborhood meeting? Oh,
It'll be when they get further in the process.
okay. We could attend.
Gee whiz, guys, we should move on, because we haven't even got to the main thing on our agenda here. Alright, I'm gonna try to share.
While you're doing that, Mary Beth and I went to the Anderson to Kennebec.
Oh, yes.
Week and a half last Saturday, second. So it was a good presentation. And I saw Dakota there. He said I should reach out to him at some point to talk bike ped stuff. So it might be good to maybe formulate something. I can give him an update on where we're at, and I don't know if the consultants are doing that, but we can also maybe ask them to do the same.
This was what you attended?
Anderson into Kennebec. Excuse me, I don't know why I got choked up all of a sudden.
You're so emotional about it.
I am. So there was a study done in 2004 maybe that they're taking another look at about basically the bike path there in Brunswick that ends over Cook's Corner,
Oh, yeah.
continuing that over to Bath, and there's 3 alternatives they're looking at right now.
Got it.
Is it, is there a different way I can share here to make that bigger?
It's been frustrating.
If there is, I'm not technically savvy.
Where did
Okay.
it go?
But,
It would go, there's I think
All
a
about-
bike path in Brunswick.
Oops.
I mean in Bath that it would connect to. Yeah, they're looking at 3 options.
Oh.
There's Bath Road, Old Bath Road, and then somewhere along Route
when
1.
you make yours from it, can you do like the?
So along Route 1 is probably cheaper,
Route 1 would be
cheaper,
okay,
but
like on the side.
as you can imagine, there was a lot of public opinion that's loud and not the ideal. Yeah, not the ideal
But
route.
if it's safe,
Better than nothing.
That's a little bit better.
better than
Okay.
it being noise or like quiet and not safe.
I think, I mean, all the routes would
Be safe.
just,
it was less expensive if you're going along Route 1 because they already own a lot of the land.
yeah, no right of way issues. Well, I don't know about no, but there's not as many
Yeah.
right of way issues. You don't have a lot of driveways with curb cuts for businesses or homes.
Yeah.
That you would have on. And the old Bath Road to the north has a pretty long viaduct that you would need a bridge for. Good comment. So anyway, so yeah, we listened in on that, and then yeah, I think the other takeaway was Dakota suggested I should catch up with him at some point about like that stuff. So
He's the DOT guy?
yeah, Active transportation plan.
Okay, folks, thank you for coming. That was lots of good updates. So our main agenda item really was just to go back and sort of talk through some of the information we received at our last meeting. We're down to about 15 minutes here. I don't know if folks want to say we want to extend this a little bit, but let's start talking, I guess. So back 2 meetings ago, I think, or maybe 3 meetings ago, we sort of defined our area, this sort of corridor from the rec fields over to Topsham Fairmont Road and Main Street on the bridge up that corridor and sort of that connectivity there. I think we can anticipate from the consultants to hear about the main corridors. I think that was what Vanessa said, that as we're sort of talking about this, we might focus on some of the smaller streets because they're going to bring back some stuff about the other, like Main Street, for example.
Brian, I'll tell you that I talked to them after the last meeting and I suggested we try to stay off 196.
Yes,
And
and
do anything with those
yeah.
intersections.
Yeah.
We only have, a short amount of time with this group. And just so everybody knows, we've already paid out 34,000 of our 60,000.
I was wrong about that.
So we have 26,000 left, and their intent is to be done with this whole thing by September. So to try to get into anything where we have to deal too much with the state would be, an issue, and they're not going to be here. That's done. And I also reminded them in a very nice way that the town has commitments and expectations out of this grant. And the primary one was that we would have a functional complete streets process to use in the future. And right now, I said it nicer than I'm saying right now, but we don't have anything. I haven't seen anything. And when we walk away from this, the town expects to have that. So So we had some discussions about it, and they said stuff's in the works. So I had suggested they focus a little more on downtown projects and stay away from 196 just because of time. In fact, I gave them a couple ideas after the last meeting, one of which was the crosswalks out here in front of the public safety building, because we get complaints from citizens as well as town employees that try to cross the street. And we've almost had some people hit there. There's a wide street. And so we've had issues there. I also suggested a mallet. Just
Mallet.
So,
Question. Oh, so I was gonna say question on, so obviously 196, would we expect 201 or 24B or any of those to, I mean, obviously we probably have to coordinate with DOT, but would we expect much of a challenge with that? Probably a lot less than 196 for sure.
a lot less than 196 just because of the traffic, but 201 depending would probably be, extensive. One of the reasons I told them I thought we should be focused more on like a Main Street or something is high visibility. We have 8,000 cars going up and down Main Street. And it also, to address that, it shows people that the town's reacting to some of the complaints. And it shows people that there's a committee that's been meeting for a few years that's got a grant and is working on something. So you put it in a high visibility area. I think it would show a little more and bring out this group and what the town's trying to do. So, and Mal, we've had complaints for years, so I thought that would, and we don't have to deal with the state at all. We have Mallet, it's just a town road. Again, 3 months is gonna go by fast here, so we don't have a ton of time to be requesting things from the state and waiting for meetings.
Thank you, Mark. I've been thinking the same thing, that we're spending all this time on demonstration projects. Where's the plan? So good, thank
Said
you.
it's in the works.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's going to be a lot of boilerplate and not really have any time for discussion.
They give you a timeline?
No, but they know, they know they plan on being out of here by September,
Yeah.
so. And they know it needs to be done, and
Yep.
we're running out of money, they're not gonna do it
Yep.
for free.
I wonder if we should ask them to have that be a deliverable so that we have 1 or 2 meetings afterwards to discuss it with them. That would do 2 things. One, it will allow us to probe and make sure it's a good product, but the other thing is it'll give them a deadline to work.
And it's not just us, it's other people in town that need to buy in, right?
So maybe we don't give it, so our next meeting is,
We need to,
June.
to figure that out.
yeah, maybe we don't, or maybe it is the next meeting, it's not supposed to be doing it, but. Yeah,
At
Yeah.
your meeting, they were gonna come back to us with more info, right?
So our next scheduled meeting right now is June 8th.
Mhm.
I think they would like to have a meeting before June 8th. That is my sense.
Okay.
I guess the other thought is, data collection wise, they should have everything they need from us to do the complete streets plan. I mean, maybe they're waiting to see what our preferences are on demonstration projects to see what type of thing we prefer overall, but I don't know what's going
That
on.
spreadsheet doesn't look much different than it did 2 weeks ago.
Say that again?
Sorry. That spreadsheet
Uh-huh.
doesn't look much different than it did 2 weeks ago.
So yeah, I mean, I think it might be good to request if, whether we meet between now and then or not, that June 8th, I'm making that date up.
That's right.
June 8th, would be good to have you can call it a draft, complete streets policy or plan. For review.
I'm gonna reach out to them tomorrow anyway to see if they want a meeting before June 8th, if they wanna be involved. At the same time, I'll talk to them again about the draft.
One other thought I have on this is, so on is Winter Street still kind of a speed limit issue? We still have cars going fast on Winter, or is that? we think
Our
this-
numbers don't show.
Okay, so the speed table,
Oops.
Love that, love
The
that.
neighbors.
We have some pretty good data, thanks to
Yeah.
Chief, and I'm just gonna pull that.
because while you're pulling that up, one thought I had is the speed tables. There aren't speed tables at the crosswalks; they're between them. So I was almost like, could we put one of these crosswalks in with the
This is.
flexi posts or whatever as a supplement to the speed tables, just to try out safer crossing areas on Winter Street? See if that further reduces speed, or at least gives the residents the perspective that people aren't ready to.
Right,
If that could be an easy one.
it's definitely a perspective issue, because we're not showing a lot of issues on Winter Street. And
So I have been, every time Chief sends out some data, we all did the same thing. Okay, every time Chief sends out some data, I look at this top thing. I always like to look at how many cars are on this road. This is so this is Winter Street. You have 4,200 vehicles a day-ish. What is the posted speed limit on the road? Where is that? It's
30, it's just a little
30.
lower.
Where is it?
Below time.
Right in the center.
Oh, okay, so posted speed limit is 30. 80, and then I looked at the gap between the posted speed limit and the 85th. So the posted speed, so the 85th percentile, 85% of the vehicles are traveling at 32 or less. So, that number 32 is a really good number. When you look at some of our other, like Elm Street, I know kind of like the back of my hand because I live there, and I look every time Chief sends out data. Posted speed limit is 25, 85th percentile is 35.
Yeah.
So you're 10 miles over.
Yeah,
2 miles over is like,
that's good.
we're doing really well.
I wonder if it's.
Part of that is it's very narrow.
Yeah.
It's a narrow street, and you've got the speed bumps. And
And your crosswalk, so like naturally people are gonna have to slow down because people are gonna be crossing. I did watch somebody cross that road the other day to get to their mailbox, and like there was obviously not a crosswalk right there. And there's like not much of an edge on the other side, and it's like they're taking their life into their own hands, going to get their mail. Not that there's anything you can do about that necessarily, because their mailbox is on the other side of the road from their home. But it's still just like completely bottlenecked the entire road.
It's maybe to focus this conversation a little bit, there's like so much we can talk about here, and I
Yeah, sorry.
like no, not at all. But I thought, oh, we'll just like talk. There's like so many things to talk about. I have thought that it might be good to say, okay, let's just like focus on a road segment. We've talked a lot about Elm Street. I live on Elm Street. But like, can we reduce, if we just focus this segment, can we figure out ways to reduce that 85th percentile speed
Down to the speed.
down to
Closer
to when you look at, I'm gonna go back to the map because I was a little bit shocked, Chief, today when you sent out this data. So rec fields right here.
Yeah.
Posted speed is 35. The 85th percentile speed is 40 miles an hour. And you've got kids crossing that road, not only during sports times. I mean, not like, so we have the flashers down there that flash when Saturday morning soccer or whatever. But there are people there at lots of other times, like birthday party, and there's just stuff happening there all the time. 40 miles an hour is like, it's too fast in my view. It's too fast. People are like, I don't know, it's a dangerous situation.
Are there crosswalks?
There are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're
There
well
are.
marked
It's a question.
now. But it's
I'll admit, so I can't tell you exactly how I drive through there, not because I don't want to, but because I don't remember. But coming off of Forsyth, like coming back from the transfer station, I think that's a 45 up there.
Yeah.
My guess is people coming down just aren't paying attention, and they're just like, oh, I'm going 45, maybe I'm going 40 now, and then all of a sudden it's 35 and there's rec fields. So that could be a perfect place to say, hey, there's crosswalks, hey, there's people here, slow down, narrow the road up.
Yeah.
Why would that road be 35 there anyways? I never understand. How do they determine that, Chief?
Goes back to how many houses are in a certain distance generally, and they also look at what 85% of the traffic's going, and that's what they said.
It just always surprises me between the library and the
Right.
Yeah, it's
field.
fast.
Feels like it's so fast.
Yeah, well, it was said a long time ago, the library, it was before the library, and the fields have really taken off, so it, it'd have to be something for people to look at, but right now, with what Brian said, the state would raise the speed, so,
well, that's so I don't know if folks remember, this is like in the last legislative session.
Right, they were trying.
There was a Dan Achilles from Brunswick put in a bill
alright.
to give towns more
Autonomy.
thank you, in setting speed limits. And so the bill didn't pass, but the DOT said, we're gonna look at this and we're gonna come up with a new method to set speeds. I haven't heard, it seems like that would be a good thing for us to do as part of this, to like reach out to DOT and say like, we have this section of road, like Forsyth, from the fields to, the Middlesex Junction. We've got a lot of activity in this corridor. Like, come help us like look at this, and we can learn about that speed setting process through that, or how they're looking at it. We do have some speed data we can share with them. They probably have some too. And just like learn about how that works. But I don't know. I think like whether it's Elm Street or whether it's that Forsyth section, like picking just a discrete section of road and saying, are there things in this, toolbox, and we have other similar things that we can do to drive that 85th percentile speed down closer to the speed limit. Or even like in the case of Foresight, maybe below the speed
I
limit.
think what I'm hearing you say is rather than pick a few places to try little things, let's choose an area and focus. Is that what you're saying?
I think you,
Or
or
you
you can
just
go
think-
one by one, or you can choose an area, collect data.
Yeah.
And then that's proof,
Proof of
right? Like, so
concept
like.
for whatever
proof of
the
concept. So like to the
intervention is.
people who live on Winter Street, we could
Yeah.
go to them and be like, we hear you that things are, you feel like people are driving fast, but our data doesn't actually show that. Because we have these speed humps or whatever, and like maybe there's other things that people don't like about Winter Street, they don't feel safe walking on Winter Street, whatever. But like, that is something you can go and be like, well, look, this actually did help, even though you're not perceiving it as helping. But then that same sort of thing with the 85th percentile of speed there by the fields could be easy data to sort of like collect and like, well, this intervention actually made a difference in the speed people are driving.
This is all.
I would suspect, this is Winter Street data again. So I'll often also look at the max speed, like what's the maximum speed?
Yeah.
49 is that's what people are complaining about.
Yeah.
Like when Chief gets a phone call, people are driving too fast, it's the people driving 49, not the people driving 32.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
But the other thing is your average speed, your 50th percentile is actually below the posted speed.
28.
Yeah.
It's like,
Amazing.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It almost like maybe this feeling for the lover.
So
Half the-
was our goal tonight to sort of be able to identify some specific locations for the consultants to actually come back to us with interventions for?
We had a lot of information at our last meeting and I just kind of wanted
Okay.
to digest it with people. I didn't know exactly where this conversation would go.
Do we need to?
Yeah,
I'm also
sure,
under the
yeah.
impression that they are just gonna bring stuff back to us.
Even more.
And we can talk about it, like their ideas for locations, like they're gonna come to us with
Mhm.
like, we should do this here, we could do this here. Like,
Okay.
I was under the impression that that was what they were gonna bring.
Yeah, cause
But
they
were
looked
also
at
looking for
areas.
us to- They were also looking for us to look at that sheet and provide feedback back.
Right,
Right.
that's what I had remembered.
When I gave them Mallet and Main Street as suggestions, they said, we noticed definitely Mallet and they talked about Maine when they did their drive around.
Yeah.
So yes, they are gonna be coming back with, I think, several suggestions that we're gonna have to relatively quickly come up with, you know.
But this
these
idea
are our
of boss
focuses.
milk is good too.
Yeah, definitely.
So I wonder if for that next meeting, I could try to take a look at this too, but we take a look at the speed data and try to highlight some of those biggest deltas between 85th and just like a summary spreadsheet or something of that. And then if they're coming and saying, okay, Mallet, okay, this, and we're like, yeah, that was really bad. That was like 15 mile/hour difference. Let's do that. And like if that might be where we want to be for that meeting.
Cause they're combining all the different factors, right? They're like looking at crash data and speed and stuff, right?
Mhm.
So. I
And
mean,
the survey data.
Survey
Yeah,
data, Strava
they'll have a
data.
melded, weighted kind of
Mhm.
scoring, but I think it would be helpful if we had some things that we would expect to see them coming back with, even if it's just based on speed, like the ball field thing, I think that's totally legit, cause I live on the back side of that. And I'm in that area all the time, and there is a lot of traffic. I mean, and I don't, if we don't hear that from the consultants, at least we have that in the back of our head to inquire about.
I feel like we're gonna get a lot from the consultants, I don't know, but in the Main Street corridor,
Yeah.
that other east-west axis, from Winter over to the playing fields. Is maybe something we could focus on a little bit more. It's interesting, I was gonna say one more thing about Winter Street. He very quickly threw up the heat maps from Strava at our last meeting.
Yeah.
And what I noticed is that you get very little bicycle traffic there, which isn't surprising to me. Because it's not comfortable
Right.
to ride.
Yeah, it's also not a nice road, like the actual road surface is It feels kind of old and broken down.
Mhm. So I don't know what we could do there, but on the other side from Elm over to the playing field, it seems like there's a lot that you could do, and there's a big. There's a big gap between posted speed and what people are actually doing.
I think there's a lot of options there. And the schools, just the
And
fact that,
school.
if we look at the schools as anchors, people going to school. And try and, I'm sure that's exactly what they're gonna come up with, to be honest with you, I'm sure it's. Folks. But elementary schools, sure, along that east-west corridor.
All right, so I'm gonna reach out to them tomorrow, Brian, and just see if they want to have a meeting prior to that, or if that's the meeting that they're kind of facing themselves for the June 8th meeting to.
Can we just quickly look at calendars and stuff and see if there's a time that we could meet before June 8th? That even like works for people?
With or without them would be the thought.
Well, I just want to,
Oh.
so I, with them, I think,
It's hard because Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, no.
Yeah,
So that
two
would,
weeks, 2 weeks from now is Memorial Day.
so that would be like the go-to day. How about, Wednesday, the 27th? Is that a day that people could meet?
Is Eid,
I could do that.
so I don't know if that's an issue for anyone.
What did you say?
Eid al, yeah, I don't know if it's the,
Okay.
I don't know if it's, Eid al. So I don't know if you, like, my husband teaches in Lewiston, so
Oh,
like, but that might not be a complication for anybody here.
So we said the 27th.
I'm just throwing dates out.
27th?
Wednesday's better, Tuesday, Thursday's harder for me.
I would be remote. Excuse me, but I'm pretty sure I could be there.
Emotional.
So
It's because you're leaving us.
you can't cry about it yet.
Yeah.
The only way I can process it is if I cry for a full
Okay.
year.
27th, yes.
27th is be okay?
It'll be all right.
Be okay.
Not
It's not my
ideal.
favorite either.
Not ideal,
No.
but it'll be okay.
No.
Okay, so, I don't know, Chief, maybe that's a tentative.
You could use
date.
that.
Chip, just, room down or whatever.
I know it won't be next door because the fire department has it Mondays and Wednesdays, so it would have to be here.
Okay. Okay, does anyone else have like concerns or anything about how this process is rolling out at this point?
I think it would be good for somebody to go back and look at the writing in the grant and see exactly, because I do believe you spelled it out in the grant, so it's like the toolbox.
And timeline.
I did before I sent the email.
You did, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like it from top down.
That's what you asked for, so.
Nice.
Yeah. I
Thanks
just-
for doing
and
that.
it did spell it out, right?
Yeah, no, it was spelled out,
Okay.
and I guess under concerns, Brian, I'll keep beating this drum, which is. These next few months are gonna go fast,
Yeah.
they're gonna be
Yeah.
on, so that's.
Well, that's kind of why I appreciate folks' willingness to do the extra meetings, but I sort of feel like we have these guys now, we need to like.
Work on.
And
work
there's a
on
lot of
hard.
information coming at us.
Yes.
And
I would suggest, I think that because of the timeline, right, the most productive thing that we could do would be to not introduce anything that they haven't looked at yet. So that's the other thing about, if that corridor fourth side by the rec fields, like, isn't something that they've started studying yet, right? That's not in that group of 3 or 4, that might not be the most effective thing to do with them. Like, they're gonna kind of give us a menu of things that they've already got a pretty good amount of work into. And I don't know if that, will be included, or if it might be, something, they probably looked at Elm between Middlesex and Main Street a lot more than they have at Foreside.
And don't forget, if they give you the deliverable that you've asked for, you can then later.
Apply it
take some
somewhere.
steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's.
I mean, that's the idea, is that we're gonna get a toolbox, that we have tools that we can then go and.
Right.
apply.
And I think that's important to say because just because maybe we don't tackle Foresight this year doesn't mean
Right.
next spring we're not saying, okay, we know exactly what we need to do here and we're gonna set up to do it.
Well, remember, they also were gonna help us identify state money to help do some of the projects.
That was talked about way back, yep. Or
I
get
mean,
us,
that was one of their selling points, right? They knew what money might be available, and it was then that was the time to start asking for it or applying for it. Did I dream that? Brian, you look like
no, no, you did not at all, they did say that, yes.
And then just, to prepare ourselves to hit the ground running with them, it sounds like they've gotten some clear direction for this area of Main Street, right, which is near public safety and where we're sitting right now, and Mallet, and they're probably looking at Elm. Right, that those would all be really good downtown
Yeah,
area.
high visibility.
Things to look at, just to kind of, just to, with the consultants, maybe to know the scope a little bit. And focus in on.
And I will be telling them tomorrow
Yeah,
where we talked about, just so they might,
Mhm.
be a little more focused when they do meet with us with those areas. And I need to send them, I didn't send them today, the speeds and so forth to show them, but,
Are they on the Google Drive?
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
So, yeah. Cause I mean, I don't wanna overpromise anything, but I do think I could look at those and the spreadsheet. And probably look at some areas on. That I might anticipate that they're gonna also be looking at. I know that. We would not be like having a meeting before that maybe with them that we could discuss and. Come to terms on one area or three or different things like that, but I figure at least if I had some data. That we could have at our fingertips for that next meeting, that might be helpful. So I guess if that's helpful, I can look at the speeds, look at the 85th to speed limit delta and their spreadsheet.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been through the problem sites spreadsheet that they came up with that they showed, yeah. I haven't been back through it carefully since we looked at it the last meeting.
Because I feel like if there's a problem site on there that came up in the survey that they've identified, that's also a big speed limit issue or speed limit to 85th issue, and it's not on a state highway that we have to do with DOT, that's like, okay, let's do that.
Yeah, most of the problem intersections that they identified are on the state because they're at intersections.
Right.
It's where the most traffic is at intersections, is where we have our crashes. All the areas we're talking about, knock on wood, we don't have a lot of crashes at.
Right.
We don't get a lot at Elm, we don't get them on Foresight. We actually, Maine's pretty safe. My reason for bringing that one up is a little PR, doesn't hurt for the group and the town to get the word out there that people are looking at this stuff.
I'm sorry, for which one, chief?
In front of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not saying we have to do that. My point was just get it out there that there's a group working on this stuff. So people know.
I felt like, I wasn't here when you hired the consultants and I haven't been very long, but I did feel like, I haven't seen a lot of concentrated communication that's very clear in terms of what they're offering us at the meet. We've had a lot of process and here's what we're doing and nice people, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like I would love to be able to say to them, we want you to come to this meeting with a very clearly identified areas of focus and be prepared to give us a synopsis for each one and which ones are your top choices from your point of view on effectiveness. I mean, I would like them to be a little more focused about what they are presenting to us and less about the process. The process is their problem. We hired them, they need to sort it out, but really they need to bring to us the results of their analysis. And their ranking of the top opportunities based on the data they have, and then we can decide if we feel differently or how many things we wanna undertake, but I don't know, that's just me.
I do feel like that's what they've been on the road to doing, like this, like problem site sort of data, which has like a lot of data in it and like
Yeah.
how it got here. These are all things that ended up on the survey quotes, why they're important,
Yeah.
like, and then now that's kind of what they're doing is
Right.
they're gonna take this data and then like find places to apply
Exactly.
improvements. So I think it's been kind of this like, I don't know,
It's been like
it's a
slowly,
nebula, it's like
yeah.
it's been like a nebulous of like, we're gonna get there, but like, I think at the next meeting, we're gonna get there.
Yeah, I
They're
just
gonna get
wonder
us there.
if it might not be helpful to say, we realize you've been doing this, but now it's June. And
It's not really
here's what
you
we're looking
address that.
for,
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sounds like he
yeah.
Well, that's good. I
hit the
appreciate
nail on that.
Yeah.
They're not the only project they're working on.
Yeah.
Which makes
Sure
no
not.
never mind to me, because, you know, when you hire them, they sort of just gotta get it done and get the resources
You
to
hired them
get
to
it done. I know I
do
sound
something.
mean that way, but I have little room in my heart for consultants, and they, oh, yeah. They make
Ones that
big job and
compress the
now have to
schedule.
deliver. So, such a meanie.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
There are a couple key pieces that maybe I can tag and make sure that you, sometimes I feel like with the onboarding thing,
Yeah.
maybe not everybody's
Stuff I
seen
don't
all the
know.
little
We're missing.
pieces.
Yeah.
So,
One
okay,
thing
that's on me, so.
I can look too. Did we say in the grant and the food demonstration projects? Not to say.
I can't remember. I think we said about three, I believe.
Okay, yeah. Cause I think I could take a look, but it might be good just to have in mind
Yeah, how
what we
did
are
they
actually
do
looking
it?
for them to
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
what they were required to do, but also what.
Of course we have.
All right, we have to wrap up,
Okay.
folks. I appreciate folks
Cool,
going
cool.
over a little bit. Okay, would someone kindly make a motion to adjourn here this evening? Matt's made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second
All
it.
right, now we have seconded. All in favor?
Boy,
of-
everybody jumped on that.
Mary Beth, feel better.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you.